It'll be led by Meta. So I'll see you at the top.
I grabbed the 6660s SPX, and I'm still in my 440 Teslas.
You said you needed help by the mags. Meta said it's up for the task.
It makes so much sense why they held premium. I was wondering, I'm like, what the fuck's coming today for them to be holding the premium on a Friday to 1:30? And I'm like, oh, the Orange Man speaking. That's why. Ivy's gonna fall off a cliff after.
Oh, Agent Orange is speaking. Okay.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you if you're in SPX contracts.
Yeah, those IV cons, bro.
If you're wrong.
Yeah, they'll fall off a cliff once he's done talking.
If this takeover happens in Nectar, I got so many FUs to push out. I know you guys say don't do that, Jeffrey, but I was talking about Nectar at 70 cents, telling people to buy it. I got laughed at. Then I got jumped on my own post by a few people that usually attends the room, saying I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. Now it's at $60, and you can fuck yourself. And if it goes to 100, I'm gonna blast them. This is why I'm called Trigger Capital. I originally did it because I trigger other people. No. I get triggered. If this happens, I'm not saying it's going to, but motherfucker, come on my goddamn post and say I'm an idiot, please.
I like how that volume is coming in on Meta, man. This is gonna be a full W, boy.
Thank you, Divine.
Them 715s and them 717 and a halves.
Anyone can get Trump talking live because the news that hits the tape is lagged. He's on Spaces, the White House. I'm not a co-host, so I can't share it.
Can you make him co-host, Kev?
I'm also driving, so there's no way how I can.
Who can play this? Because I can't. I don't have speakers on my goddamn setup right now. I'm on a Colombian setup. Anyone down there can come up and play it? That'd be awesome. Nobody?
I'm looking for where he's talking.
Just go to Financial Juice. It's right there.
Just go on Spaces on the top of the White House page.
But you guys, he might say something about China, but it's Ukraine. He's
talking about Putin and Ukraine right now. But the news that's hitting Financial Juice is lagged. It always is, like by 10 minutes.
Yeah, Putin came in yesterday on the call to try to get Trump to not give bombs to the Ukraine.
Yeah, okay. It's all theater, bro.
Of course.
You want me to play it? I can play it.
Yeah, go ahead and play it, bro.
I think that President Zelensky wants to get it done. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. President Trump just brokered a peace deal in the Middle East that all Americans, both sides of the aisle, are very proud of. But to meet that deal, both sides had to make concessions.
Jeff, can you mute your mic?
The president has stuck out his neck in many ways.
One second, guys.
As well. What specific concessions are you willing to make to end this war with Russia? Will you give up joining NATO? Americans have foreign war fatigue, and our president, as he said, we need our Tomahawks too.
To me?
Yes, you, President Zelensky.
Thank you very much.
That's some question.
So many questions in one. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I think we need to sit and speak. The second point, we need ceasefire. Even now, you see in the Middle East, it's very difficult to hold ceasefire. Everywhere, in every war, it's very difficult. We want peace. Putin doesn't want. That's why we need pressure on it. We will speak with President today what we need. We understand what we need to push Putin to negotiation table. And as I said previously, so we are ready to speak in any kind of format, bilateral, trilateral, doesn't matter, just peace. This is important. And we don't speak about NATO or NATO. For Ukrainians, it's very important. Of course, it's our decisions of allies to decide where we are.
But are you willing to give
Yes,
up
but
joining
the
NATO?
most important thing for people in Ukraine, which are under each day's attacks, to have really strong security guarantees. NATO is the best, but weapon is very important. Allies on our side is very important, and between us, for us, bilateral security guarantees between me and President Trump is very important. I don't know, we didn't speak with details about it, but this is the most important document because United States is very strong.
Sir, President Trump,
Peter.
President Trump, you are the middleman right now, hoping to end this conflict. Who is doing a better job negotiating, President Zelensky or President Putin?
I think they're both doing a great job in that sense. We have to get it done. We've got to take some of the hatred of each other. You know, they don't like each other. I say that in front of President Zelensky, but I say it in front of President Putin too. They have tremendous bad blood. It's really is what is holding up, I think, a settlement. I think we're going to get it done, and we have to make it long lasting. As I said, in the Middle East, everlasting, right? Everlasting. And the Middle East is a much more complicated situation. You know, we had 59 countries involved, and every one of them agreed. And it's, you know, it's sort of amazing. Most people didn't think that was doable. This is going to be something I really believe that's going to get done. I had a very good talk yesterday with President Putin. I think he wants to get it done.
And President Zelensky, right behind you. When we were in Israel with President Trump earlier in the week, we heard a lot about the difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Joe Biden before him. What do you see as the biggest difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Biden?
President Trump has a big chance now to finish this war. President Biden now is not the president, so he doesn't have a chance to finish this war. And President Trump is really
What a common sense response.
for the world that he can manage ceasefire in Middle East. And that's why I hope that he will do this, and we will also have such big success. For Ukraine, it's a big chance. And I hope that President Trump can manage it.
I would say the biggest difference is one is
That's why I have
extremely
bearish
competent,
FYI.
and the other one is grossly incompetent.
Mr.
Sir,
President.
Sir, a few weeks ago in New York, when you two met, you said that you think Ukraine could ultimately take back all the territory that it's lost so far. Do you still think that's the case, or do you think there'll have to be some sort of
You
swap
never
of
know. Look,
territories?
you know, war is very interesting. You never know, do you? You just never know. With war and peace, but you never know. Please.
Russia calls Tomahawk supply to Ukraine as an escalation, yet it continues using similar cruise missiles like Caliber. And
Yeah.
even
Who are you with? Who are you with? You, Ukraine?
Yeah. But Russia continue even using the cruise missiles and also nuclear-capable ballistic missiles in Ukraine since 2022. So do you consider providing Ukraine with the Tomahawk or similar missiles as an opportunity to equalize the possibilities of Ukraine and Russia and push Moscow to the negotiation
Yeah.
table?
Sure. We're going to be talking about that. That's why we're here. Okay? Fair question. Exactly as he told you to say it. But we're going to be talking about it. Okay? Yeah, please. You said India and Hungary? That's an interesting. India and Hungary. It's an interesting combination. Well, India is not going to be buying Russian oil anymore. And Hungary is sort of stuck because they have one pipeline that's been there for years and years and years, and they're inland. They don't have sea. They don't have sea. And I spoke with the very great leader of Hungary, and they are, you know, it's very hard for them to get oil. I understand it. We have Hungary's in a very interesting position because they can't have ports. You know, they're surrounded by land. So we'll see what happens there. But India will not be buying oil from Russia. And they've already de-escalated and they've more or less stopped. They're pulling back. They bought about 38% of the oil and they won't be doing it anymore.
Mr. President Trump has been helping you in achieving peace in Ukraine.
Who has?
First Lady Melania Trump
Yeah.
has been helping in returning abducted Ukrainian children from Russian captivity. President Zelensky, do you appreciate those efforts? How do you assess them? And did you ask her to step in and to help you?
No, she wanted to do it. She's felt very strongly about the children, and she's done a really good job, I think, in bringing it to the fore. You know, we have a lot of children involved. Now, it's some people say it's 20,000, and some people say it's 300. There's a big difference between that, so nobody really knows. But she felt very strongly about the children. She thinks about the children all the time.
President Trump, if you okay tomahawks to Ukraine, what's going to happen if the United States is in a conflict and we need the tomahawks? Do we have enough?
That's the problem. We need tomahawks, and we need a lot of other things that we've been sending over the last 4 years to Ukraine. We've been, you know, we gave them a lot. Now we have a different situation. We send it to the European Union. They pay for it and all that, and they have plenty of money. But it's beyond the money. You know, we need tomahawks, or we need a lot of other weapons that we're sending to Ukraine. One of the reasons we want to get this war over is exactly that. It's not easy for us to give. You're talking about massive numbers of very powerful weapons. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. Hopefully they won't need it. Hopefully we'll be able to get the war over with without thinking about tomahawks. I think we're fairly close to that. Yeah, go ahead.
President,
Yeah, please.
Just to understand. So for today, of course, we want to finish this war, but the war is another technological war. You don't use just tomahawks. If you want to target a military goal, you need thousands of drones. It goes together with such missiles.